What if the reason your skin looks the way it does has nothing to do with your skin? So, the skincare industry is worth about 400 billions and almost none of it is fixing your actual problem.
Wait, you work in aesthetic? Isn't that bad for your business?
It is, and it's the truth. Your skin is not the problem, it's the messenger. And today I'm going to prove it, Lena.
Okay, so a quick note before we start that this podcast is only educational and it's not a personal medical advice. So if you are dealing with any type of symptoms or medication, please talk with your doctor. So you want to begin?
Perfect. So, your skin is not just a surface, it's a report card. A report for your gut, your hormones, and of course your sleep. Everything's happening inside your body eventually shows up on your face.
So instead of reading the report card, most people are just trying to cover up the grade?
Exactly. The global skincare industry is worth about 400 billions, and most of it is designed to treat the surface while ignoring what's actually driving the problem.
So the breakouts, the dullness, the premature aging, those aren't really a skin problem, or what are you saying?
There are signals. Your skin is the messenger, and today we are decoding those signals. The three internal systems that determine how your skin actually looks.
The gut, the hormones, and the sleep.
Yes, and fix the inside and the outside follows.
Yes, fix the inside, the outside follows. That's the whole episode right here.
Evidence only, no product pushing, no sponsor ingredients, just science, and you can start using tonight. Welcome back to GNL Podcast Real Life No Gloss. I'm Dr. George and I have with me Lena.
I'm Lena and I'm a surgical nurse and aesthetic practitioner.
And today's episode connects three topics we have already covered. The gut-brain connection from the episode 4, the hormones from the episode 5, and sleep from the episode 7. And shows how all three shows up on your skin.
Yes, and this is a bit personal for me. I work as a aesthetics. I see a lot of patients spending enormous on products and different things and treatments. Some are really beautiful, but others are throwing money at the problem. They start way deeper. Like, can you explain this a bit?
Which is exactly why today is inside out beauty. It's the foundation. And of course we will make another episode that it will be the skincare decoded, where Lena will take most of the lead and speaks about the products and different things that she does. And the most important from our episode today to understand that from the inside it's coming out the glow of your beauty.
And think of today as fixing the foundation. Of course, episode 15 is painting the walls.
Can't paint over cracks. Let's get into it.
Okay, George, let's start with something you mentioned before recording, that the gut and the skin are connected from birth. What does that really mean?
It means they are deeply connected from the very beginning of the development. Okay, the skin, your epidermis, develops from ectoderm, and the gut lining develops from the endoderm. There are different embryonic layers, but from the early on the build they shared immune pathways and think that they shared nerve signals networks and eventually shared microbial communities. This is very important.
So what does that really mean in real life?
It means that the gut and the skin are in constant communication. When your gut is inflamed, your skin often shows it. When your gut microbiome is disrupted, your skin microbiome can shift too. So they are not separate systems, they are mirrors of each other. And this is very important to understand it. And here is something that most people don't realize. Your skin is the largest organ in your body. And it's an active part of the immune system. It contains immune cells. You have like T cells, mast cells, Langerhans cells, all of which respond to internal signals.
So the skin isn't just a wrapper?
Not even close. It's an active immune barrier, and that barrier responds to three main internal inputs: the gut health, your hormonal status, and sleep quality. Sleep, sleep, sleep. In every episode I say the same. When those three are off, the skin barrier weakness, you have an inflammation which increases, and that's when the problems appear.
So acne, eczema, dullness, premature aging.
All of them have internal drivers. That's not to say topical care doesn't matter, it does. But if you only treat the surface and ignore what's driving the problem, you will never get ahead of it. So let me put it this way. Imagine your house has a leaking pipe in the wall. Okay? Water is running down, damaging the paint. What does the beauty industry tell you to do?
Of course, to buy better paint.
Exactly. Buy a more expensive primer, a moisture-locking top coat, a special sealant. But the wall looks better for a week. Then the paint peels again because the pipe is still leaking.
Yeah, and you can't really moisturize a leaking pipe, can't you?
No, you can't moisturize a leaking pipe. Fix the pipe, for example, your gut, your hormones, and your sleep, and the surface takes care of itself.
I love that. So where do we start?
Of course, with the gut. If you remember from the previous episodes, gut-skin axis. So the gut-skin axis is one of the most researched areas in dermatology right now. And the basic concept, it's what happens in your gut directly influences what happens on your skin.
So if we put this to a bit more normal language, how does my gut affect my face?
You have three pathways. First, the immune signaling. About 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. When gut bacteria are in balance, they're called dysbiosis, the immune system produces more inflammatory signals, and those signals travel through the bloodstreams and reach the skin. The number two, it's intestinal permeability, if you remember from our previous podcast, when the gut lining becomes leaky. So you have bacteria and toxins that should stay inside the gut, escapes into the bloodstreams. So the immune system reacts, and one of the places that the reaction shows up is, of course, your skin.
So your gut is basically like sending alarm signal to your skin.
Yes, like microbial metabolites. This is the third thing, that the healthy gut bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate that have anti-inflammatory effects and this goes throughout your body. Okay, and this includes the skin. Unhealthy bacteria produce compounds that increase inflammation. It's so simple.
So why should someone worry about a leaking gut? And if I have a gut problem, will I see it on my skin?
Researchers suggest a strong association. Patients with inflammatory skin conditions like acne, rosacea, eczema, psoriasis have significantly higher rates of gut disorders compared, of course, to the general population.
So let's talk about acne specifically. That's what I get asked about the most in the clinic.
So acne patients often have altered gut microbiomes, less diversity, more inflammation-associated bacteria. Small studies on probiotics have shown improvements, but we need to be honest, the evidence is still developing. We don't have large-scale trials, but what we can say with confidence is a pro-inflammatory diet like high sugar, high processed food, low fibers, it worsens both gut health and acne. So improving dietary patterns addresses both simultaneously.
So it's not like take a probiotic and your skin clears up.
No, it's fix the environment your gut bacteria live in, and your skin may improve as a result. Fix the gut, fix the skin.
Yes, like feed the gut, fix the skin, start from the inside. What about the rosacea? I see a lot of that in the clinic as well.
Rosacea has surprisingly strong gut connection. Studies show patients with rosacea have higher rates of small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. This is, if you remember, the SIBO that we have discussed in a previous episode. And in some studies, treating this improves rosacea symptoms.
Oh, that sounds scary. Should people worry about the SIBO?
Nah, SIBO is common and treatable, but it needs proper diagnosis. Usually you can do it even with a breath test and treatments through a clinician. The point is, if you have persistent rosacea and is not responding to topical treatments, it's worth looking also the gut.
What about the eczema? Because that's also something I see very often.
Eczema also has gut connections. Gut microbiome disruptions in early life is associated with later development of eczema and other allergic conditions. So the pattern is consistent. Fix the gut lining, reduce systemic inflammation, and the skin barrier strengthens. Not overnight, of course. It will take some weeks and even months. And here is the concept that you want for everybody to understand. We have spoke before about this. Increasing intestinal permeability. This is which sometimes people they hear the leaky gut. And impaired skin barrier functions may be connected, as we said before. When the gut lining is compromised, inflammatory signals increase systematically. Systematically means in the body. And it's not topic, it's not like local, it's in the body. And this will cause the skin barrier weakness as a response.
So basically leaky gut, leaky skin.
Yes, and that's what the research points towards. Fix the gut lining, reduce systemic inflammation, and the skin barrier strengthens.
So what can we do from today?
Increase fibers. Eat fermented food, yogurt, kefir, kimchi which you love, and of course reduce the ultra-processed food. We cover all this in, I believe it was the episode 4 that we discussed about.
So why should someone care about all of this?
Because every one of these steps reduce systemic inflammation, which is the common pathway for most skin conditions. It's not 3 separate problems, it's one problem showing up in 3 ways. Fix the inflammation source and you address acne, rosacea, eczema, even premature aging all at once.
So basically one root cause, multiple symptoms.
Exactly, and that's why the topical-only approach fails for so many people. You are treating 4 different symptoms with 4 different products when they all have the same, driver.
Okay, what about the hormonal acne? Every woman knows this one.
First, you have to understand the second axis, which is the hormonal skin axis. And this one hits hard during puberty and perimenopause, okay, because you have the hormone and the skin connections. Think, you have androgens, which is the male hormones that both men and women produce, which are the primary hormonal driver of acne. They increase sebum production in the skin oils glands. And more sebum means more clogged pores, more bacteria growth, more inflammation. Because think that if you cannot come out, the bacteria stays there, stays inside. So you have more growth there.
And if we put this to a bit easier language, so what hormone spikes oil gets up and breakouts? Sorry.
Exactly. Think that why acne peaks during puberty. It's why women often break out before their period. It's called PCOS, where the androgens are chronically elevated. So frequently causes persistent adult acne, particularly along the jawline and the chin.
Yes, because I see this all the time in the clinic. Women around in the 30s still struggling with the acne they thought they outgrow.
If it's concentrated along the jawline, chin, and the lower face, and it cycles with the period, that's a hormonal signature. Okay? So topical treatments alone often are not enough. You need to address the hormonal driver, and we know that in the clinic we speak with endocrinologists.
And how we do that?
And First, of course, you speak with your doctor. What you can do in general, it's insulin management. Okay? Insulin and androgens are linked. Insulin resistance increases androgen production. So reducing sugar and this will improve insulin sensitivity, can lower androgens-driven acne. Second, anti-androgen medications prescribed always by a clinician, and after you have made the proofs, like blood proofs. And third, certain oral contraceptives, but the lifestyle piece, managing insulin, is, for me, it's the foundation. Think that you control the insulin, you control the oil.
So control the insulin, control the oil. So what you eat really does show up on your face.
Yes. And now think like another hormone, estrogen. This is huge for women over 40s. Okay, estrogen support collagen production, skin thickness, elasticity, and moisture. When estrogen declines during perimenopause and menopause, the skin changes very rapid. Okay, research indicates a woman can lose approximately 30% of skin collagen in the first 5 years after menopause.
Wow, 30%, that's really enormous.
Yes, it is, and it explains why many women notice a dramatic change in skin quality around menopause. No amount of topical collagen cream can replace what's being lost systematically. Even HRT, that it's hormone treatments, can't help, but that's a complex decision for a clinician. What everyone can do, protect the collagen through nutrition, sun protection, and addressing the other axes, okay, like cortisol, for example, which is the stress hormone, which, as we have discussed before, has a direct effect on skin. Chronic stress impairs the skin barrier, increases the sebum, shows wound healing, and triggers or worsens eczema, psoriasis, and even rosacea.
So that's why like people break out during like the exams before wedding or after fights.
Yes, because stressed skin is inflamed skin. Don't ever
So
forget
stressed skin is inflamed skin. I see this every single day.
Especially, before the weddings, this is the worst part. Like you try
When
to,
you want the perfect skin.
yes, yeah, but don't forget that marriage, it is a little bit stressful, I believe.
I do believe the same.
And here is the irony. People get stressed about their skin, like before their marriage. Oh, I want the perfect skin. I get stressed about my skin, which make their skin worse, which makes them even more stressed. And this is a whole, like a it's a whole field, psychodermatology. This is dedicated to this mind-skin connection. So breaking the circle requires addressing the stress, and not just, the breakout. And there is also one more connection, the high glycemic diets, which spikes the insulin, which increase the IGF-1, but okay, these medical words, which boost the androgens actively, which increase the sebum and the inflammation. So things like the white bread, when you're drinking all the sugary drinks, and the processed snacks that you eat today, for example, they will show up on your face in 48 or 72 hours. It's very important. So every time that you try to eat, those chocolate and those snacks,
You show 3 days after.
You will see in 3 days.
So what about the diary? Everyone online says cut diary for clear skin. What do you say about that?
The evidence on diary and acne is mixed. Some observations and studies, particularly on skim milk, suggest an association. Okay? But we don't have strong randomized controlled trials. It's not as clear-cut as social media implies nowadays.
So people don't really need to cut everything out.
No, don't forget that extreme elimination often causes stress, which worsens the skin, and the stress worsens everything. So basically improve overall dietary quality first. If you suspect a specific trigger, of course, test it systematically with a guidance.
Okay, let's talk about bad sleep. We all know that we look tired after a bad night, but is there actually any science
Of course,
this?
because this is the third axis. It's the sleep-skin axis. And here we have significant science, as well-known studies from different universities, especially from the Cleveland. They found that poor sleepers had increased signs in intrinsic skin aging It's like, the fine lines, they reduce elasticity, you have uneven pigmentation, like I have, and slower recovery from skin barrier disruptions.
So what does that mean in real life?
Poor sleep does not just make you look tired, it actually aids your skin. We have discussed it many times, and I will continue saying in every podcast, consistency in sleep. Getting less than 6 hours was associated with worst outcomes. 7 to 9 hours was the range associated with better skin markers. And what is the fascinating thing? Your skin has its own circadian rhythm. During the day, defense mode, and at night you have the repair mode. So blood flow increases, cell turnover accelerates, growth hormone peaks during deep sleep and drives collagen synthesis and tissue repair. So don't forget, the skin also becomes more permeable at night, and which is why night treatments can be more effective, like night creams. We have discussed it in the previous podcast about this.
So the beauty sleep is real.
Skin heals while you sleep, or it does not heal at all.
Okay, so skin heals while you sleep, or it doesn't heal at all. Powerful.
Yes, like the beauty sleep. Don't forget that your skin peak repair window correlates with the first hours of a deep sleep. So roughly the first 4 hours after falling asleep. If you are consistently going to bed very late and cutting into that window, you are shortening the skin repair time. So you will not think that you sleep, you think, now I will become more beauty, I will glow. And there is another mechanism worth to know. Transepidermal water loss, if you remember, we have discussed it. With transepidermal water loss increase with the sleep deprivation. So your skin literally leaks moisture faster when you don't sleep. No night cream can fully compensate of that.
Maybe that can explain the mothers. We barely sleep anything, so sometimes we wake up with very bad and dry skin, usually. So, well, I have to pay for the skin now. While the children are small. Now it will cost my pocket. So let's jump to translate
just
this.
Just sleep. You don't need to pay, just sleep.
Yeah, if I could sleep, I would 100 times pick it over to do the facial treatment, but in 2-3 years, hopefully. Let's jump to translate this for someone at home.
Okay.
If they don't really quite understand.
I think melatonin is not just a sleep hormone, it's a powerful antioxidant. And your skin has melatonin receptors. Okay? Don't start taking pills of melatonin for this. It helps to protect your cells from the UV damage and supports DNA repair. So when you don't sleep, what happens? The melatonin drops. That's one less layer of protection. So you can spend like $300, $400, euros on night creams, but if you can sleep, which doesn't cost, except if you have children, small children, yes, and you use a moisturizer that can cost 10, 15 euros, dollars, the sleep will give you better result.
So that must be the most expensive free advice I have ever heard. What should someone do tonight?
Go to bed at the same time. It will fix you many problems.
How can you help me?
I don't know how. I don't know how. No, but here we're talking science. The problem is that the science, it's very nice, but for example, it doesn't fit always the
reality of real life.
The reality. We try to make it as real as we can, but when I have night shift, it's impossible to sleep. I know that.
When the children growing teeth, you sleep 1 hour. 2 hours, 2.5.
You just beg that they sleep so you can sleep. No, but as we said before, go to the bed at the same time, make the room dark, and don't forget that your skin repairs where you sleep. Just try it. And for example, for our friends in the Gulf area, late night social culture. Many people are not getting to bed until 1, 2. The same also in Balkan. That is not so good for the skin, and not only the skin. So think that your skin needs those deep sleep stages. pushing bedtime later, that doesn't just mean less sleep, it means also less repair per hour of sleep. Thinking like this.
So even if someone sleeps 7 hours but goes to bed at 2 a.m.?
They may get fewer hours of deep sleep compared to someone who sleeps 7 hours and goes to sleep around 11. Don't forget, the architecture of sleep matters, not just the duration. Earlier sleep tends to have more deep sleep stages, which is where the repair happens.
So before the protocol, what are people getting wrong?
For me, the biggest mistake is spending hundreds of dollars on skincare products while eating poorly, sleeping 5 hours per day, and being chronically stressed. As we said before, products, they have their place, but products are on the top layer. If the foundation is broken, no serum will save you. Serum cannot fix what sleep will not.
So serum can fix what sleep won't. I have to print that and put it on my clinic. It was a good one.
Yes, so I can pay less for the creams. No, but think, second mistake, never considering the skin problems might originate in the gut. If you have been treating acne or eczema topically for months with limited improvement, look deeper. If you have bloating, irregular digestion, the connections might be right there.
So the solution to your face might be in your stomach?
Potentially, yes. And here is what some people they make a big mistake. They have the over cleansing. People with acne, they wash aggressively the face. Layer strong actives like with retinol, with glycolic acid, with vitamin C all at once. And this is a little bit mistake because don't forget that it has to heal also.
Yeah, because I see this every week. Like patient comes in with skin that is red, peeling, stinging, and they are using like 5-6 different products they found on the social media, just mixing them without understanding what they are for or how to use them.
Yes, but this is a very typical mistake. People they think I will use like 10 creams and in one day and everything will be fine the next day. But no, because the skin barrier is very delicate. It's stripped in and you get more inflammation, more sensitivity, more breakouts. So the opposite of what you want. Aggression does not fix inflammation. Don't forget this.
I repeat, aggression don't fix inflammation. Simple is better.
Yeah, so use gentle cleanser, moisturizer, sun creams. That's the baseline. And add actives one at a time slowly, not everything in one day, because you don't know even what it works better for you.
So in episode 15, we will speak more about this. That's where I go deep on which actives works.
Yes, and I think also, very important, don't expect overnight results.
No.
I think that gut changes, they can take weeks. Hormonal rebalancing can take cycles after 2-3 months. Sleep improvement shows on at least after 2-4 weeks. Skin cell turnover is approximately 28 days. I will repeat this. It takes 4 weeks, the turnover of the skin. So the minimum time frame to evaluate and eventually see any changes, it's about 6 to 12 weeks. Real result takes cycles, not days.
Yes, real results take cycles and not days. Patient is the protocol. Someone who's been spending hundreds on skincare and getting nowhere, what's the first thing they should actually change?
Sleep. Before they change a single product, before they add a supplement, fix the sleep. 7 hours minimum in a dark room. Do this first for 2 weeks and see what happens. And after, you add whatever you want.
So not a product, not a pill, just sleep.
Yes, and the best
Which
thing...
is for free.
Yes, and it's the best thing that you can do for your skin and costs nothing. Sleep, stress management, moving, of course, your body, eating real food. They are not glamorous, but they work.
I agree. And I'm thinking about this with the gut. What about the hormones?
The hormonal protocol, I think blood sugar stability is the priority. We always say protein at every meal, combine carbs with fat and protein. Think on the androgen support like green tea, spearmint tea, preliminary evidence for reducing androgens in PCOS or PCOS, it's called. Cortisol management, I don't know how, because it's many people have stress, and usually we say consistent to sleep can help. Morning light, go out to the sun at least 20 minutes daily, limit caffeine afternoon, and of course if you suspect something more, speak with your clinician. Don't try to fix everything alone.
And the sleep, the third pillar?
In sleep we can have a sleep protocol. Okay, but the same which we have spoke before. Try to sleep before 11 o'clock if it's possible, 7 to 9 hours, and consistently. And dark room, as always, because melatonin requires darkness. Any ambient light, suppress it. And always, all the researchers we have spoke before about this, they show that you have to wake up at the same time. It's very important.
So does the timing of the product actually matter?
Yes, night is when your skin is more receptive. Because of that many creams, they are like night creams. But if you have been stripping your barrier with 6-10 products, even a gentle night treatment will stink. So first fix the barrier, put something like creams on the night, but add one thing at a time. And don't forget, the best night cream is 7 hours of sleep.
Yep, I want that night cream.
I don't know where you will find it. You ask too much with
then you keep on paying for my skincare.
I pay to see the result,
I will put that on the t-shirt to remind you. So if we go 3 things, no product required.
Okay, wait. 3 things, no product required. 1, add 2 servings of fermented food daily, yogurt, kefir. Number 2, stabilize blood sugar, like reduce everything that has the sugar and put protein on every meal. And 3, sleep. Sleep 7 hours in a dark room at a consistent time. That doesn't cost nothing, this.
Real life, especially for those in golf audience.
Oh, golf audience, the golf climate. You have the excessive sweating, which disrupts the skin, microbiome, and clogged pores. So people there usually they shower 2-3 times a day, depends, and usually they use harsh soaps. So stripping the barrier. Think also the air condition. It's like. If you have this heat cycling to air conditioning, this stresses the barrier. And of course, UV levels, okay? Because it's the highest in those countries, globally.
So what is the fix?
Gentle cleanser after sweating, lightweight moisturize, SPF at least 30 plus every day. And you have also the internal protocol like hydration with electrolytes, anti-inflammatory diets, and prioritize sleep. Now with the Ramadan, intermittent fasting can benefit skin because here you reduce the insulin signaling. But dehydration during fasting hours can worsen the barrier function. So hydrate aggressively between iftar and the suhoor, okay? And protein first at iftar, and prioritize again to sleep.
Let's talk a little bit about collagen supplements. Many people ask about that. Do they work?
We have several trials which shows collagen peptides, depends if you have around 2.5 to 10 grams, can improve elasticity and hydration over 4 to 12 weeks. Evidence quality is moderate. reasonable to try as an addition, okay, not a substitute. Don't forget this.
And what about the probiotics specifically for the skin?
They are promising but early. Some strains have shown benefits in small studies. We recommend probiotic-rich food over supplements. It's better supported and usually more affordable, and you get all the additional nutrients. But yes, you can try.
What about, does drinking more water clear your skin?
The evidence that water alone significantly improves skin is weak. Just stay hydrated. But, think also your gut, your hormones, and your sleep. Hydration matters, but if you drink 10 liters, it will not change something. Probably your kidneys, they have to work more. Harder. Yes, but sleep matters more.
So hydration matters, but sleeps matter more. When should someone see a doctor?
Usually when you have some changing mole, this is not negotiable. When the conditions can worsen despite 2-3 months of consistent care, when you have skin symptoms with joint pains, when you have fatigue or weight changes, when you have severe cystic acne, because this can make scarring risk. If you have unexplained rash with fever, all of this, talk to your clinician. And don't forget that your clinician, it's your friend. It's not there to judge you. Very important, because many people, they don't want to say, oh, I have this, I took in my skin, etc. And don't forget that if you are pregnant, if you have autoimmune conditions or eating disorders, all of this can affect also the skin. And be careful with the medication if you take something. Ask your clinician.
Well explained, George. But now we have to jump to the personal takeaway.
Okay, so my personal takeaway will be that the patients who address gut, hormones, and sleep, their skin improves as a side effect. And the skin is downstream, fix upstream. Beautiful skin is a side effect of a healthy body. And of course, don't forget that we haven't spoke about smoking, because everybody knows that smoking doesn't help the skin.
So beautiful skin is a side effect of a healthy body. And my take will be, when my gut is soft, when I'm not sleeping, when I'm stressed, no product fixes it. So I'm stressed, no product fixing it. Products and age, they don't create.
Exactly. Remember, this next time that you want to order, the expensive creams. So, don't forget that we are not anti-skin care people, especially with you, with so many creams that we have home. But the thought here is build the foundation first. Finishing touches in the next episode. I believe that it will be the 15th. We will talk more about this.
And a quick recap. Internal driver topicals can't address. 3 axes: gut, hormones, sleep. And mistakes: product obsession, ignoring, gut over cleansing, expecting overnight. And the protocol: feed the gut, stabilize blood sugar, protect and sleep.
Yep. And don't forget fermented food. Protein in every meal, at least 7 hours in a dark room sleep.
And start there and build from there. And I also want to say something as someone who works in this industry. Good skincare products do work. Retinol works. Vitamin C works. SPF is essential. Always 50 plus if you ask me. Always 50. So we are not saying throw it all away. We are saying make sure the foundation is there first. Otherwise, you're spending your money for nothing. And finish touches for a house that doesn't have walls yet.
And don't forget, consistency beats intensity.
Yes, always.
Give 3 months on basics, and you will always outperform 3 weeks of everything at once. So that was our episode, Inside Out Beauty.
And share this with someone if you know anybody struggling with breakout, dullness, or aging. Next Men's Health Masterclass.
Next episode,
Yes. Until then, feed your gut, sleep in the dark. Your skin is listening.
Bye.
Bye.